Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to tell you 10 things that you need to know before you start investing in the stock markets. So without any further delay, let's begin. Tip number 1, set your goal. Now what do we mean when we say set our goals for investment? See, when you invest, there's got to be some objective for your investment. So for example, you might be investing to take care of your retirement, in which case the time horizon of your investment is going to be pretty long. The duration of your investment is going to be, say, over a period of 15 to 20 years. The second type of objective is where you might be wanting to save or invest for meeting your children's college expenditure, in which case the time horizon is slightly shorter than your retirement savings. The third kind of objective for which you might want to invest is to meet your lifestyle expenses. For example, a vacation which you have been planning for a long time and which you intend to undertake over a period of, say, next 2 years. Now this obviously would involve a shorter time horizon. Now why is this objective determination important? This is important because the time horizon of your investment will in turn determine the kind of investments that you are going to make. If the time horizon of your investment is for a longer period of time, then obviously you might want to place bet on stocks which could provide you with growth over a longer period of time. So before you start investing, set your goal or set your objectives. Tip number 2, define your risk capital. Now what is risk capital? Risk capital represents the amount that you can afford to lose without you being bankrupt. So in essence, this is the amount of spare capital which you have after meeting all your requisite expenditure. Now for setting aside or defining your risk capital, you need to be very clear about your future vision. You need to provide for all your expenses and then ascertain what is the amount of capital that you can afford to lose in the stock markets. Because it is very important to realize that while you might earn handsomely in the stock markets, or there is also a chance that your entire capital could get wiped out. So you need to be cautious about that. So please define the amount of capital that you can afford to lose without losing your sleep. The third tip is set aside risk capital. Now what do we mean when we say set aside risk capital? See, every month when you get your salary, you can slice your salary into various parts for various purposes. Now this is what we call as a cookie jar approach. Now what do we mean by a cookie jar approach? Out of your salary of every month, you allocate certain amount to meet your monthly household expenditure. You set aside certain amount for meeting the utility expenditures. You set aside some amount for meeting your mortgage repayment requirements. When all this allocation is done, make sure that you allocate some part of your salary as the risk capital or the capital which you are willing to invest in the stock markets. Once you defined your risk capital, please make sure that you set aside the risk capital. Now this requires a little bit of discipline and you've got to keep doing it every month without fail. And if in any one particular month you're not able to do it, then make sure that you compensate for that amount in the subsequent months. Tip number 4, do not jump head first. Now what do we mean by this? Many a times what happens is you often hear your friends or your neighbors talking about how much they made in the stock market. And over a period of time, as they keep telling you this, inquisitiveness gets the better of you and you also decide to take the plunge. And without doing any research, you start putting your money into the stock markets. Now this is the most dangerous thing that can happen, right? So if you are entering the stock market just to remain in mainstream or to be called as fashionable, please do not do that. Understand that investing in stock market is a full-time occupation and it needs your full concentration. Otherwise, you might end up losing a whole lot of money. Tip number 5, educate yourself. Now, when I say educate yourself, you should make an effort to understand the financial metrics and definitions such as price earning ratio, earnings per share, the return on equity, market capitalization, and so on. You should also be aware of popular methods of stock selection and timing such as fundamental and technical analysis, although you don't need to know all this in too much of depth, but you must have a passing knowledge of all this. Then you must have some idea of trading basics such as the market order types, the limit orders, stop loss orders, stop limit orders, trailing stop loss orders which are used by the investors, then the margin money requirement, etc. And also, more importantly, you need to read about a whole lot of things, especially about the economy in general. You need to be aware of what is happening around you. You need to do a lot of reading. You need to be aware of what is happening to the GDP, what is happening to the employment, what is happening to the inflation, what is the interest rate scenario, what is the central bank's view on the interest rate, what is the crude oil rate going on. So you need to be aware of a whole lot of things because stock markets do tend to get affected by any disturbances in these parameters. So you need to educate yourself, and friends, education is not a one-time process. It's a continuous process. So you need to continuously keep educating and innovating yourself. Tip number 6, do not leverage. Now this is a cardinal sin. Invest only as much money as you have. Do not overextend yourself by borrowing or leveraging yourself, because what will happen is, if you extend yourself, or that is if you borrow more than your capacity, then when the market starts moving in an adverse manner, you will be not only incurring losses on your position, but the lender from whom you have borrowed money would start asking you for margins. And this could put you under enormous emotional stress, which in turn could make you take irrational decision, because when a person panics, then obviously he is going to take some decisions which are not going to be rational. So please do not leverage. Invest only as much as is within your capacity. As you gain expertise in the market and as you become a seasoned player, only then can you think about leveraging, and even then you have to be very careful about leveraging. Right? So tip number 6 is very important. Please do not leverage. Tip number 7, keep emotions aside. See, in the stock market, you cannot trade with emotions, because if you get emotionally attached to your position or your script, then your decisions may not be rational. Whenever you take position in a script, always predefine your profit limits and your loss limits. For example, before taking a position of say rupees 100, predefine that I want a 20% return from this position, and once the prices rise up to say 120, exit. Or if you have defined your loss threshold as 20%, if the prices of the stock touches 80, exit. What happens in most of the cases is that when the stock prices are going up, greed comes into play and investors do not sell. And when the prices are going down, then the investors' thought process becomes, oh, how can I book losses? I purchased it at 100. Now what is the point in selling it at 80? So I might as well keep it. Now you understand the problem, the situation that is happening here. When the prices are going up, even then the investor is not exiting, and when the prices are going down, even then the investor is not exiting. So the question is, when do you make profits? Because you can only make profits when you exit. So please do not let your emotions come into play when you are investing in the stock markets. Emotions and stock markets don't go hand in hand. Tip number 8 follows from what I said in tip number 7. Know your risk tolerance. Now, when I say know your risk tolerance, what I mean is, please be aware of how much loss you can suffer without letting your blood pressure go high. Define that. And if you see the losses breaching those threshold level, exit. It is always better to get a good night's sleep rather than tossing and turning and thinking about the potential losses that could happen to you. And thereby, not only damaging your wallet, but also damaging your health. It is just not worth it. So know your risk tolerance, know how much loss you can take. Don't go beyond that. Tip number 9. Be realistic in your expectation of returns. See, what happens is a lot of time you would hear such fancy stories. Oh, I invested 1 lakh rupees and it turned out into 100 crores. Now, trust me, these kind of stories, I don't say they don't happen. Of course they do happen, but they happen. The chances of them happening are 1 in a million. I mean, at the end of the day, think of it. So many people play cricket, but only one of them could be a Sachin Tendulkar or a Virat Kohli, right? So it's not that everyone who invests in the market could make that kind of a return. So when you set your expectations from the market, be realistic about it. Now I'll tell you what realistic levels could be. Over an extended period of time, one would expect to make about 13 to 14% return from the market. And I'm talking about over an extended period of time, say over a period of say 5 years or 6 years. Provided, and this percentage which I'm talking about is keeping in mind the fact that banks' fixed deposit interest rate is currently at say 7 or 6%. So maybe you might end up making about 12 to 13% from the stock markets if you invest rationally for a long period of time. Don't enter into the market with an expectation thinking that, I'll double my money in 15 days. Why? Because Warren Buffett said so. That doesn't happen. And for the record, Warren Buffett doesn't say so, right? So be realistic in your expectation. That will help you take rational decisions. And finally, coming on to tip number 10, diversify, but don't overdo it. When I say diversify, see, it's very risky taking up a position in just one stock and building a portfolio, because then your whole portfolio performance is dependent on that one stock. It is always better to diversify, and this is something that has been taught to us in the subject of financial management, and it has been drilled into our head that diversify, because diversification reduces the risk. Absolutely, diversification reduces the risk. But if you over diversify, then remember, the risk will also come down, and with the lowering of risk, your return will also come down. So too much of diversification could eat away into your return. That's point number 1. And the other disadvantages with over diversification is that if you invest in 100 stocks, as an individual, it will become very difficult for you to monitor all those and track all those 100 stocks. So it's always better to invest in say about 10, 15 or 25. This is something that I would call as an ideal portfolio size. Say about 10 to 25 scrip, and keep tracking and monitoring those investments. That is an ideal way to build a portfolio. So these are the 10 things that one needs to keep in mind before starting to invest in the stock markets. There are certain other things also, like as a beginner, I would always suggest that you should adopt the mutual fund route. Invest in a mutual fund. See what is the portfolio that mutual fund is building up. That way you would be able to see the scripts which that mutual fund is investing in, and that could give you a starting point of entering into the stock market. For example, let us say you invest in a blue chip fund. Now if you look at the portfolio of that blue chip fund, you will see certain scripts. And not all those scripts are in equal weightages. There are some scripts which have a higher weightage in that portfolio. Now obviously there's going to be some rationale for it. So what you can do is, if you identify that script, apart from investing in mutual fund, maybe On the personal side, you can buy some shares of that stock, right? Now, you know that since that mutual fund has invested in that particular stock, it has obviously done its research, in which case it would be reasonable to presume that this is a relatively safe investment. Now, this would give you the first stepping stone into the market. So, investing in mutual fund is an ideal way to begin your journey into this exciting world of stock markets. And lastly, even though this is not something which I included in that list of 10, but this is very important, although this is not important for you at this time, but this would become important when you move on to the next stage, that is trading. Understand, in this video, I'm not dealing with trading. I'm only talking about investing. So this last tip which I'm going to give you, which is not included in that 10, is more important when you start trading. Do not try to time the market. And when I say time the market, do not expect that you will always be able to buy at the lowest level and sell at the highest level. You can never ever do that. So whenever you're buying stock, don't expect the market to keep falling so that you can buy it at the lowest level. When you think it's a reasonable level to buy it. And if you have conviction on your investment, then don't worry even if the stock price falls after you purchase. Let it fall. If your judgment is right, then you know that the stock price is going to go up again. Wait. Let it go up. And when it starts going up, don't wait till it reaches the peak level. The moment it reaches a level where you are satisfied about your return on investment, exit. So this is what we call as timing the market. Don't try to time it. Don't ever think that you will be able to buy at the lowest and sell at the highest level, because no one actually is able to do that, and you won't be able to do it consistently day in, day out. So don't try to do that also, right? So these are my advice for people who are wanting to start their journey into the stock market. Of course, I'll be preparing a separate module for how to begin trading. In this video, I'm only informing you about the things that you should be aware of before you start investing. Right? So that's all for this session. Stay healthy, stay safe, and ciao.